We talk a lot about how authors can be using AI inside of their author journey on the legal side and the ethical side of your book creation. Today, we're going to talk about how you can be using an AI generator to help you develop your character's backstory before you start writing your book so that you don't have to do the heavy lifting of coming up with their entire childhood, their adulthood before your story starts, the things that are going to make your character who they are. You can do this very easily with AI and use it for your own reference before you write your book. Let's jump in on how to do it. Once you open your AI generator, you're going to have to give it a prompt. The more descriptive you can be, the better results you're going to get. And remember, as you're creating this, it's learning from what you're doing in the past. So if you've already told it something, it remembers those things. So when I start off, I'm going to be very clear on who I am and what I want from it. I said I'm a multi-time best-selling fiction author. I kind of describe what type of things that I write so it knows what to look for. I also said that I need a backstory history of a character I'm writing for my Robin Hood retelling before Robin Hood begins his story. Please tell me about Robin's childhood and teen years. So I've listed specific timelines, how he became a skilled thief, include an unlikely mentor and a friend that betrays him and forces him out of polite society. So things that they have to include character-wise. I also said include a female love interest who works alongside him but betrays him as well. Be descriptive about how and describe how and why he learned to survive in the woods. And then I clarified that it needs to be 10 paragraphs long so it doesn't give me just a teeny tiny little thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit the button and it's going to think about it for a minute. It's going to start creating my content. So as you can see, it is starting to come up with things. As it's doing this, I am seeing if I like it or if I don't. If I like it, I'll keep going with it. If I don't like it, I'm going to say you need to change certain things. Now, because I am not actually going to be writing a lot of this based off of this, I'm just going to kind of scan through and see what other questions can I ask? What else do I need to know about this? So as we're taking a look at this, we've got some interesting things. We've got Marion in there already. Marion's not coming into my story, the story that I'm not even writing. I made that up for this specifically, but I might have to write it now, and she'll be in there later on. So here we go. We've kind of looked over some of these things. He grew up in a sprawling castle, surrounded by the trappings of wealth and power. Okay. Opulence and extravagance. So we have Robin Hood coming from a very opulent past, and then we're going to lose all of those things. He was plunged into despair and loneliness. He found solace in the woods. We missed the part where he was orphaned at a tender age. So from here, we're just going to keep looking and see where can we ask questions. So the next thing I'm going to, because we're not going to go through all of this, I'm going to say, how did he lose his parents? And so it already knows what it has told me. Now it's going to give me more. Oh, well, isn't this interesting? The loss of Robin's parents remains shrouded in mystery and whispers. Could be a tragic accident, could be foul play. This is actually very interesting. Now remember, this content is not going directly into my book. This is his backstory. This is just where I'm basing his character off of. And it's given me a pretty good amount of information. So if I had just left it alone in the beginning, it would give me a short amount. This would probably be a lot shorter. When I said 10 paragraphs, it's like, awesome, let's give her a lot of information. So now I can go through this. I can see if there's anything I want to talk about with this, or if I want to go back up to the top of this. We're going to keep asking questions until we get to where we want to go. So let me go back up here because I had tossed in some characters that we need to be touching on. So let's see what we've got here. Robin's transformation into a skilled thief was not without its trials. He encountered a childhood friend, Will Scarlet. I love that name. Who, driven by envy and greed, betrayed him to the authorities. This act of betrayal shattered Robin's trust in others and forced him to flee from polite society, forever branded as an outlaw. The pain of this betrayal would linger, fueling his commitment to justice and his unwavering loyalty to those who had suffered at the hands of the corrupt. I love that. Let's keep going. Let's learn more. How did Will betray him? Let's find out. Let's see what we have to say. So now we go back down because it is typing down here, and we're going to see what's going on. Will Scarlet, once a close childhood friend of Robin, would ultimately become the agent of his betrayal, forever altering the course of their relationship. It's going very fast for me to read right now. Let's go back up. Let's see what they have to say just a little bit. Will her deep-seated envy and bitterness stemming from a sense of inadequacy in comparison to Robin's privileged upbringing and natural charisma. Oh, Robin is very charismatic, I see. the sheriff of Nottingham. So they've pulled right from the Robin Hood story, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting conversation. We're actually going to look deeper into how we can be using this for retellings later on. So hit that subscribe and notification bell if that's something that is going to help you out. But we kind of want to get the idea from here. So you're going to go through, you're going to ask your questions. You are going to then be able to come back down here, and we're going to try some other things as well. So we don't just want to leave this as our backstory. We've got a lot of information here that we can be using. As you're doing this, what I've noticed is that you're going to be getting all this really great information. You're going to want to copy and paste this into a Word document. Then you're going to do find and replace to change the characters' names, any descriptions that you need to have changed. You can actually say, if you have specific names that you want, you can ask it to change names and it will change it for you so that you don't have to do it yourself, but it's easy enough to do it on your own. I would actually go in here, and if I were going to be using this just for my own reference, this is part of my character Bible, I would copy and paste it into a Word document. I would find and replace anything that needs to be changed. And then I would go in and remove some of this, reword some of this, add in some details, take away some things that don't make sense. None of this goes into my book, remember, because you cannot copyright protect a book that has been created with AI. So if it's done any of the writing for you, you can't copyright it. As of right now, watch the legal playlist here on the channel for updates as the court cases continue to roll out. As right now, you can't with the law the way that it is. But this is just your character Bible. This is just information for you. So you can copy and paste and you can change things up and have it just for your own reference later on. Now, because this is a lot of information, I may not want to go back and reference all of these things. So I might say something like, I need a bullet point timeline of everything you told me about Robin's life. Now at this point, it's going to go ahead and think about it, and it's going to give me a bullet point list of this. And it's just going to tell me everything that's happened in that bullet point form so that I can reference it. I know what's going on. In a previous one, I actually asked if it could give me the timelines in between and the ages. Please add in at what age all of these things happened. So if it doesn't give you all the information the way that you need, it's going to go ahead and it's going to fix it for you. Look at that. Look at that. This is a really easy way to develop your characters. Now, beyond this, you can ask questions about your characters. So now let's have a conversation with it as soon as it's done typing here about what your characters are like. I need physical descriptions. Oops, we're going to spell things properly here. Physical descriptions of every character you mentioned with hair color, length, and style. Ooh, that's okay. We're going to do it with the typos and see what happens. Where they live and grew up, and the ages they are during the events of this story. Also include birthdays, signs, and 5 main personality traits of each. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now we've got physical descriptions, we've got some background, we've got ages, we've got birthdays, we've got signs, we've got personality traits. Ooh, 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 I like it. I like it. I like it. This is very interesting. And so it's giving me these bullet point descriptions of my characters. Now you can ask questions. You can ask clarifying questions. You can talk about the world building. You can talk about the characters. And we're going to break down how you can be doing this to have conversations inside of your story with your Bibles that you're creating for your characters and for your world building. So hit the subscribe and notification bell. We're coming back with more episodes to show you how to do this, but build it out more. If you want a specific idea, a specific list of prompts, you can feed ChatGPT or any AI creator to develop your characters. Let me know. We'll do a follow-up video where I'll give you a specific list of things that you can be doing. We're going to talk about how to use this for your world building. We're going to talk about how to do this for a ton of stuff on the legal and ethical side of your content creation for your books to make sure you can still have your books copyrighted, you can still have them out in the world and defend your own books, and you can be saving yourself a little bit of time and effort in developing things like your backstory so that you don't have to do that work, so that you can spend your time and effort on what's actually going to be making you money inside of your stories and your publishing life. Questions on any of this? Go ahead and drop it down below. Follow along for more AI help on your publishing journey.